You're listening to Don't Miss This on Paris Underground Radio.
For more great content, including bonus videos of events in and around Paris, please join us on Patreon. Hello, and welcome back to Don't Miss This, your weekly roundup of the best of what's happening in Paris this week. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity, the creator and founder of the Paris Underground Radio Podcast Network, featuring podcasts on a wide range of topics that come out 6 days a week and are made for people just like you. This week is shaping up to be particularly fun. We'll begin with an interactive, intimate, and immersive look at a couple's relationship and end with a debut dessert festival. On our way, we'll go back in time to prehistory, send ourselves on secret missions, fall in love with the color gold, and so much more. Get the inside scoop on the LVMH Journées Particulières, take a chill pill, and decipher clues to find a secret room filled with urban art. This week's edition of Don't Miss This covers the week of Sunday, October 9th through Saturday, October 15th, 2022. If you're not spending your Sunday sprinting around Paris in this year's 20K run, why not head to the Michel Theatre for Smoke Rings, an interactive play starring Marais and Emmanuelle Georgie, who also star in the France 3 series Plus Belle la Vie. Smoke Rings invites you into the intimate life of a couple and questions the impermanence of that loving feeling, the jolts of passion, and the absurdity of choosing to stay together. In this immersive play, you are among the actors, following snippets of their lives from scene to scene, leading you into all corners of the theater. Smoke Rings will be at the Théâtre Michel every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. from October 9th through February 19th, 2023. This immersive play lasts an hour and a half, and tickets are €39. More information can be found at theatre-michel.fr. That's theatre-michel.fr. If you're interested in being entertained, but in a less immersive fashion, consider heading to Close Up, the film festival dedicated to cities and their architecture. The second edition of this festival will appear in several cinemas in Paris and Île-de-France, and feature screenings, masterclasses, and previews, all centered around the themes of cities, architecture, and urban landscapes. You'll even have the chance to meet the filmmakers behind these masterpieces. In total, 9 films will be screened, including Grand Paris on opening night, and the award-winning Les Pierres and Nos Soleils. The 2 masterclasses include Urban France, as seen by Benoît Delépine, followed by the screening of the film Le Grand Soir, and a roundtable discussion about patriarchy, cinema, and territories, followed by a preview of the film Riposte Féministe by Marie Perrin and Simon Despardons. Festival Close-Up will run from Tuesday, October 11th through Tuesday, October 18th, and more information can be found at festivalcloseup.com. You know how you know that you're really famous? People celebrate the 100th anniversary of your death. And, lucky for Marcel Proust, the Bibliothèque François Mitterrand will be honoring his death anniversary with their exhibit Marcel Proust, La Fabrique de Louvre, which will focus on the making of his novel In Search of Lost Time. This exhibit is meant to lead you through the many stages Marcel went through while creating his novel, and will showcase nearly 370 documents, including manuscripts, paintings, photographs, objects, and costumes. Each volume of his book corresponds to a different exhibit room, and you'll have the chance to discover what his process was like and how his novel was imagined, produced, and publicized even after his death in 1922, until it became one of the most famous books in the world. Marcel Proust, La Fabrique de Louvre, will be at the Bibliothèque François Mitterrand from Tuesday, October 11th through Sunday, January 22nd, 2023, and tickets are between €8 and €10. More information can be found at bnf.fr. Speaking of things that are long past, beginning on Wednesday, October 12th, you can throw on your fuzziest fur toga and head to the Musée de l'Homme for their new exhibit, Art et Préhistory, or Art and Prehistory. This exhibit will feature masterpieces of prehistoric art from all over the world, retracing, quote, the power of human creativity since the dawn of time, end quote. Between the more than 90 original pieces of prehistoric art and hundreds of digital images of paintings and engravings, you'll find more than enough to satisfy your inner troglodyte, including frescoes from the Lascaux and Chauvet caves, Paleolithic Venuses, decorated tools, and animals sculpted in ivory, rock, and bone. As if that weren't enough, you'll also discover art inspired by this period by artists like Louise Bourgeois, Bresset, and Yves Klein. Art et Préhistoire will be at the Musée de l'Homme from Wednesday, October 12th through May 22nd, 2023. And more information can be found at mnhn.fr. Psst! Have you ever dreamt of being asked to be part of a covert mission to protect your country? Well then, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to head to the Musée de l'Armée to discover the history of the French Special Forces in an immersive exhibit called Forces Spéciales. This exhibit will, for the very first time, highlight the modus operandi, equipment, and history of these elite units. You'll uncover the evolution of the Special Forces from the Army to the National Navy to the Air and Space Forces, as well as the Army Health Services, from the Second World War to present day. And you'll discover the importance of the role of special forces during times of military conflicts, as well as in times of peace. This exhibit will lead you from selection to training, and for the very first time, the general public can learn more about the operating methods, specific techniques, equipment, and weapons dedicated to the special forces, many of which are being unveiled for the very first time. And because for most of us, what we know of the Special Forces comes from film, part of the exhibit will be dedicated to the depiction of the Special Forces on screen, questioning reality and fiction, our conceptions of war and violence, and what can be shown and what must be left hidden. Forces Spéciales will be at the Musée de l'Armée from Wednesday, October 12th through January 29th, 2023, and more information can be found at musée-armée.fr. That's musee-armee.fr. Like, oh my god, weren't the 80s like totally tubular? Before you gag me with a spoon, check out the new 80s exhibit coming to the Musée des Arts Décoratifs, Années 80, mode, design, graphisme en France, or the 1980s, fashion, design, graphics in France. To celebrate the 80s, the museum will unveil more than 700 pieces, including furniture, posters, photos, clips, fanzines, and record covers. You'll witness the evolution of the fashion silhouette, thanks to fashion designers like Jean-Paul Gaultier or Thierry Mugler. Explore advertising's boom years through graphic and audiovisual design, and relive the musical revolution from hip-hop to post-punk to new wave. Années 80, mode, design, graphisme en France will be at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs from Thursday, October 13th through Sunday, April 16th, 2023. And more information can be found at madparis.fr. Speaking of fabulous fashion, you may remember that a few months ago, 6 Parisian museums coordinated exhibits revolving around haute couturier Yves Saint Laurent, with Yves Saint Laurent au Musée, in honor of the 60th anniversary of his first runway show. Well, beginning on Friday, October 14th, a brand new exhibit from this famous designer will open in his eponymous museum, Gold, Les Heures d'Yves Saint Laurent, or Gold, The Golds of Yves Saint Laurent, which maybe loses something in translation. This exhibit will focus on Yves Saint Laurent's adoration for gold, both the color and the metal. Around 40 haute couture and ready-to-wear golden dresses will be on display, with sequins, lamé, and gold buttons, including a spectacular jewel dress from the Fall-Winter 1966 line and the sequin dresses worn by Catherine Deneuve. Gold, Les Heures d'Yves Saint Laurent will be at the Musée Yves Saint Laurent Paris from Friday, October 14th through May 14th, 2023, and more information can be found at museeyslparis.com. That's MUSEEYSL Paris.com. When you think of Pablo Picasso, it's likely that one of his paintings springs to mind, perhaps one with 2 eyes on the same side of the face. Or my personal favorite, the old guitarist from his Blue period, which I just fell into a deep internet rabbit hole about, and you should totally look up too, but I digress. But beginning on Friday, October 14th, you'll have the chance to explore his sculptures with a free exhibit at the Galerie de l'Institut. This exhibit will focus on the theme of figures and the animal kingdom, including many of his studies of birds, bulls, and representations of mythical beasts, and range from wood to bronze and from surreal to cubic. The Picasso sculptures will be on display at the Galerie de l'Institut from Friday, October 14th to December 17th, and is free to attend. I'd direct you to their website, but honestly, there's not a lot of information, and much of it is lorem ipsum filler text. But if you're curious, you can visit galerie-institut.com. That's GALERIE-INSTITUT.com. After 4 long years without, Les Journées Particulières LVMH are back on October 14th, 15th, and 16th. And this is your chance to visit the workshops, estates, cellars, and historic boutiques of the group's houses in iconic and unique places for free. You'll find guided tours, demonstrations, conferences, and interactive tours that will highlight technical excellence and historical savoir-faire. For this new 2022 edition, 95 locales from 57 houses in 15 countries will open for Les Journées Particulières, including 27 in Paris and Île-de-France alone. You'll find open doors into the wines and spirit sector, the fashion and leather goods sector, the perfumes and cosmetics sector, the watches and jewelry sector, and the selective retailing and other activities sector. There are too many places and activities to list, but I will highlight a few. For example, we've spoken before about the fabulous immersive play Le Bonheur des Dames at Le Bon Marché Rive Gauche, but during Les Journées Particulières, you'll be invited to meet Frédéric Bodnet, the artistic director, who will take you behind the scenes of the play and, more broadly, the creative and cultural commitments of the store. The Journées Particulières will be at Le Bon Marché Rive Gauche on October 14th and 15th. The Louis Vuitton Prototypes Workshop brings to life the studio's designers' sketches, from leather goods to luggage and accessories. Each year, several hundred models are made within the walls of the atelier, and during the LVMH special days, you can follow along with the different stages of prototype manufacturing, from the creation of the sketch, to the choice of materials, to cutting the templates, to the actual manufacturing of the model. The Louis Vuitton Prototypes Workshop will be open on October 15th and 16th. If Dior is more your style, head to the historic private mansion on Avenue Montaigne and visit an haute couture exhibit full of exceptional models, accessories, original sketches, and archive documents for a peek behind the scenes of the Dior workshops with an exclusive guided tour of the Dior gallery. The Dior doors will be open from October 14th through the 16th. Stepping away from fashion, the pastry chef of La Grande Épicerie de Paris invites you to help make the 170th anniversary cake for Le Bon Marché. As a savory treat, you'll be offered a variation of his famous vol au vent, and you'll also have a chance to visit the laboratories that produce all the daily breads and pastries just below the store. La Grande Épicerie de Paris will be open for the Journées Particulières from October 14th through October 16th. There are many, many more examples, and you can find a full list on their website. Les Journées Particulières LVMH will run throughout Friday, October 14th to Sunday, October 16th. Please note that advance booking is closed, but there will be spots available at all locations on a first-come, first-served basis. For all information, including locations, specific dates, and programming, please visit lesjournesparticulières.fr. That's LESJOURNEIPARTICULIERES.fr.
Have you always dreamed of owning a place in Paris? If you're planning on moving, renting, buying, or selling a place in France, you'll need the expert guidance of Gaëlle Boisclair and Marie Pistinier, hosts of the Paris Estate of Mind podcast. Listen now to Paris Estate of Mind on parisundergroundradio.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be right back with Don't Miss This after a word from our sponsors. And now, back to Don't Miss This.
One thing continually reinforced by this here podcast is Paris's love for street art. And it's true that one of the things that I love so much about this city is that there is respect for beautiful historic architecture, but also an embracing of vibrant contemporary street art. And I'm not the only one. In fact, our city's very own town hall, the Hôtel de Ville, is creating an exhibit showcasing the work of more than 70 artists, including Invader, Mystique, André, Swoon, and Banksy, called Capitale, 71 d'art urbain à Paris, or Capitals, 60 Years of Urban Art in Paris. Paris has played an essential role in the emergence of the street art movement, which is often reduced to its North American origins. And this exhibit hopes to reframe this discussion with pieces from prestigious collections, archival documents, live performances, and off-the-wall creations throughout Paris. Pay particular attention to the fifth wall, an immersive experience featuring 3 urban artists, Kashink, Kraken, and Madame, who have created 3 entirely virtual works hidden in a secret room of the exhibit. A hunt for clues in augmented reality is offered to visitors in order to find the secret room. Capitale, 71 d'art urbain à Paris will be at the Hôtel de Ville from Saturday, October 15th through Saturday, February 11th, 2023, and is free to attend. For more information, please visit paris.fr. What better way to finish out a long week than the first annual Flan Festival in Paris? The people behind Fou de Pâtisserie have created this festival to showcase the best flan in Paris. From your small neighborhood bakery to the most prestigious palace pastry shops. Around 15 establishments have been selected to showcase their flan. And you'll be treated to a wide variety of flan recipes so that you can sample the traditional round, smooth, and tender recipe with eggs, or go for something more adventurous, like a matcha, puff pastry, marbled, or praline flan. Taste the crazy flan from Quentin Le Chat and Mori Yoshida, the orange blossom flan from Maison Aleph, the praline flan from Le Bon Pâtisserie, the matcha flan from Page Blanche, the marbled flan from Pierre-Jean Quinoero and Burgundy, the pecan vanilla flan from Le Bristol, or the mad puff pastry flan from Shangri-La Paris. The Festival du Flan de Fou de Pâtisserie will take place on October 15th in its 4 shops throughout Paris. For more information, please visit foudepatisserieboutique.fr. That's FOUDEPATISSERIEBOUTIQUE.fr. Well, that's it for this week's roundup of Don't Miss This. For more great content, including a look behind the scenes, videos from Paris, a book club, and exclusive events, please join me on Patreon at patreon.com/Paris Underground Radio. If you enjoyed this roundup, please tell a friend. If you venture out to any of the events mentioned in this podcast, please let me know and tag Paris Underground Radio on Facebook or Instagram. And if you think you have an event we should know about, please feel free to email me at hello@parisundergroundradio.com with the subject line, Don't Miss This. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity. You can find me on all socials at Jennyphoria. That's JennyPhoria. Don't Miss This is produced by me for Paris Underground Radio. For more on Don't Miss This and shows like it, please visit parisundergroundradio.com. Thank you so much for listening and happy exploring.
Don't Miss This is produced by Jennifer Garrity for Paris Underground Radio. For more on this show and shows like it, please go to parisundergroundradio.com.